Hello my dear students and teachers, welcome to the Bridge Course Digital Classes. In today's biological science session, we are going to learn some interesting things about the life process in plants and animals. You might have studied some of them in your previous classes. We are going to learn some basic concepts of those things. It may be useful for you in the present class. Our today's topic is plants and animals life process. We are living in a world of living and non-living things. Plants and animals are living organisms. Do you know the characteristics of living organisms? Come, let us know. Respiration is the important life process. Plants and animals take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide during respiration. It is the basic life process. Response to stimuli is shown in plants and animals. Another important feature of living organisms is growth. Animals grow up to a certain age, but plants grow till the lifetime. Can you recognize this process? This is reproduction. Reproduction means again giving the same type of species. We can see reproduction in plants and animals. Reproduction helps them to continue the race. So these are the basic life processes. We are going to learn about life process going on in plants and animals. Plants and animals living around us. You might have observed so many plants and animals in your surroundings. Do you know the parts of a plant? What are the parts of a plant? And what are the functions of different parts of a plant? A plant consists of mainly two parts, the part above the ground and a part below the ground. The part above the ground is called as the shoot system and the part below the ground is called as the root system. The plant bears stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. Is the root system same in all the plants? There are two types of root system. Taproot system, which is seen in dicots, and fibrous root system. Observe the taproot system in dicots. Here a thick main root is present and some lateral roots are present. This is seen mainly in dicots. And we can see fibrous roots in monocots. All the roots arise from the base of the plant. There is no main root. What are the functions of a root? Roots help in taking up water from the soil through absorption. Dissolved minerals are absorbed by the roots. Roots help to fix the plant in the soil. There is an activity to show that roots absorb water. Take 2 glass tumblers filled with water, add some red color in one tumbler and put 2 plants in these 2 tumblers. You might have observed that the plant placed in the colored water, there is a change in the color. The stem changed to red color and there are light red color patches appeared on the leaves. It shows that roots absorb water. What are the parts of a leaf? A leaf base which is attached to the stem, and it is having a stalk-like structure. This is called as petiole, and this broader portion is called as the lamina. It is having a line-like structure. This is called as the midrib, and it is having side ribs also. These are called as the veins. Is the venation same in all the leaves? Observe the leaves here. The venation in these 3 leaves is like a net or web. This is called as reticulate venation. And observe here in this leaf, the veins are parallel to the midrib. This is called as the parallel venation. Observe reticulate venation and parallel venation in the leaves. Reticulate venation is seen in dicotyledonous having taproot system. Examples are mango and groundnut. Parallel venation is seen in monocotyledonous having fibrous root system. Examples are rice and wheat. Observe the leaf. Leaf is very important part of the plant. Do you know why? Because food. In the process called photosynthesis. So leaf is called as the food factory of plant. Then what is photosynthesis? Preparation of food by green plants in the presence of sunlight is called as photosynthesis. In this process, plants prepare food. That is glucose. Oxygen is evolved in this process and water is evolved in the transpiration. Gaseous exchange takes place through stomata and transpiration also takes place through stomata. How does the plant carries the process of photosynthesis? Come, let us know. The plant in the presence of sunlight takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water from the soil and prepares food with the help of chlorophyll present in the green leaves. The food prepared is in the form of carbohydrates, glucose. Oxygen is evolved in this process and water is also evolved in this process. This is written in the form of an equation called photosynthetic equation. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gives out glucose, oxygen and water. The factors required for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll. The end products of photosynthesis are glucose, oxygen and water. So all the green plants prepare food on their own. So they are called as autotrophs. Do all organisms prepare food on their own? No. Only green color plants can prepare food on their own. Achlorophyllous plants and other animals and insectivorous plants cannot prepare their food on their own. So they are called as heterotrophs. Observe here achlorophyllous plants, and these are insectivorous plants, and these are the animals. These plants cannot prepare their food on their own, and animals directly or indirectly depend on plants for their food requirements. Saprophytes are the organisms that depend on dead and decaying organic matter. Examples for saprophytes are mushrooms and bread mold. Children, did you observe the roots of leguminous plants? These roots are having some nodules. These are called as root nodules. This is seen only in leguminous plants, and Rhizobium bacterium lives in these root nodules. This is the best example for mutualism. Here bacteria and plant lives along with each other. Bacteria helps in nitrogen fixation. Do you know what is nitrogen fixation? Air is a mixture of gases. It contains 78% of nitrogen. And nitrogen is a major element which is required for plant growth. But plants cannot absorb this nitrogen directly. Rhizobium bacteria present in leguminous plants help to convert this atmospheric nitrogen into nitrates, which is useful for the plant. This bacteria helps in nitrogen fixation. Observe the stem. Stem provides support to the plant. The stem branches into sub-branches and bears leaves, flowers and fruits. Which part of the plant produces seeds? How do we get new plants? Flowers are the most attractive parts of the plants. You might have observed that there are some colorful flowers, and some flowers gives a very good fragrance. They attract insects for pollination. So flower is called as the reproductive part of the plant. Let us know about the parts of a flower. This is datura. The parts of the flower are sepals, which protect the inner parts, petals, which may be attractive or gives fragrance, and the male part of the flower is stamen, and the female part of the flower is carpels. This is the diagrammatic representation of floral part. These are different types of stamens present in different flowers. This is the male part of the flower, and it contains two parts: pollen sac or anther, filament. Pollen sac contains pollen grains which are microscopic in nature. You can see the different types of pistils present in different flowers. Based on the presence or absence of floral parts, flowers are divided into two types: complete flower, which is having all the four whorls, sepals, petals, calyx and corolla. Incomplete flower is a flower in which any one whorl is absent. So examples for complete flowers are hibiscus, datura and lotus. Examples for incomplete flowers are ridgegourd, bottlegourd. Flowers are divided into two types based on the presence of single or both sexual parts. Unisexual flowers are the flowers which has either stamens or pistil. Examples are cucumber, bottlegourd, bittergourd. Observe here children, this is the male flower and this is the female flower. Observe here children, this is the male flower of the plant. In this, female part is absent, and this is the female flower. Here male part is absent. You can see the difference between male flower and female flower. At the base of the female flower, you can see a small fruit-like structure here. Bisexual flowers are the flowers that has both stamens and pistils. Example, datura and hibiscus. How do flowers are useful for the plant? They help in pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is known as pollination. Pollination can be carried out by insects, wind, water, etc. Pollination is of two types: self-pollination and cross-pollination. Pollination results in fertilization. Fusion of male and female parts to form zygote is known as fertilization. Then, how do fruits are formed and seeds are formed? Ovule changes into seed and ovary changes into fruit. Observe children, this is a mango tree. This is the flowering of the mango tree. Flowers gives rise to fruits. Under favorable conditions grow into new plants. This is called as reproduction. The process of living beings producing its offsprings is called reproduction. Two types of reproduction. Asexual reproduction is the process in which only one organism is involved. Here gametes are not formed, so there is no fusion of gametes. Offsprings resemble exactly their parents. Sexual reproduction, it is the entire process of fertilization and formation of zygote. These are the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction. Children, did you hear about vegetative propagation? Observe this plant, children. Here you can observe small plants on the edges of the leaves. They gives rise to new plants. Observe here, so many new plants are coming from these small teeny plants. This is potato. There are small eyes on the potato, and if you cut a small eye of potato and if you plant it, it rises to a new potato plant. This is colocasia. This is the stem of colocasia which gives rise to new plant. You observe some examples now. Production of new plants from vegetative parts of the plant is called as vegetative propagation. Examples are curry patta plants coming from the roots, potato, zinza and colocasia coming from the stem, bryophyllum. New plants are produced from the leaves. Observe here children, the edges of the leaves are having small plants. They are grown into new plants. This is another variety of bryophyllum which is giving new plants from its leaves. Is it amazing? How do animals reproduce? Which animals lay eggs? Which animals give birth to young ones? Some animals lay eggs, incubate them and grow up the young ones. They are called as oviparous animals. Usually birds lay eggs, lizards, snakes, fishes lay eggs. So some animals lay eggs. They are called as oviparous animals. Viviparous animals are the animals which give birth to young ones. Human beings, dogs, cats, cows are examples for viviparous animals. Reproduction in animals is of two types, asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, the formation of gametes does not take place, so there is no fusion of gametes. It is common in microorganisms. There are different types of asexual reproduction, binary fission, fragmentation, etc. We can see budding in amoeba. Amoeba gives rise to two daughter amoeba in the process called as binary fission. Hydra gives rise to new hydra through a process called as budding. Here a small bud arises from the body of hydra. This is the budding in hydra. The fusion of male and female gametes resulting in the formation of zygote is called sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction occurs by the fusion of female gamete or ovum and the male gamete or the sperm. The body formed thereafter is called zygote. Fusion of ovum and sperm is called as fertilization. The fertilized egg is called as zygote. Children, does all the offspring resemble their parents? We know that human beings, dogs, cats resemble their parents, but in some animals the offspring does not resemble their parents. Which animals show this? This is looking like a small fish. Observe here eyes. It is having a tail also, but it is not a fish. It is the baby of a frog. It is called as the tadpole. The process is called as metamorphosis. Meta means beyond and morphe means form. The transformation of shape of the body occurs during development over a period of time, and only then they begin to resemble their parents. The life cycle of frog has 4 stages. They are egg, larva, late tadpole, adult frog. What are the stages in the human life cycle? Infancy, childhood, adolescence, young age, middle age and old age. Can you help this guy? Elders are saying that he is not an elder to sit along with them. Youngers are saying that he is too old to play with them. Then what is this stage? This is the adolescence stage. Usually we see changes in the age of 10 to 19 years. This period is called adolescence. During this period, changes take place in the body internally and externally. This is a complex stage of life. Growth from childhood to adolescence takes place in this period. A lot of stress due to these changes and are unable to decide whether they belong to adulthood or childhood. This is the period of confusion and transition. You can see some changes at adolescence: increase in height, voice change, sweat and pimples, development of body, reproductive phase of life. Height gain in children takes place during adolescence at maximum pace. Actually, girls grow earlier than boys, but by the age of 18 years, both boys and girls attain the same pace of height. The growth of height is different in different individuals. Generally, change in voice is seen during adolescence. The voice of boys become hoarse in this stage. This is the Adam's apple in adolescent boy. This is caused mainly by some male hormones during adolescence. Adam's apple is actually a partial growth of our voice box or larynx. Sweat and pimples are common in adolescent boys and girls. The sex organs by which children are identified as boys or girls at birth represent primary sexual characters. Did you notice any changes? At this age, male sex organs like the testis and penis develop completely. The testis also begin to produce sperms. In girls, the ovaries enlarge and the ovum begins to mature. Ovaries also start releasing mature ovum. In girls, breasts begin to develop, whereas in boys, facial hair, moustaches and beards begin to grow. Hair starts growing on the chest of boys. In both boys and girls, hair grow in the armpits and at the genital region. The characters are called as secondary sexual characters. Adolescents become capable of reproduction when their testes and ovaries begin to produce gametes. But remember children, though the adolescent bodies are prepared for reproduction physically, mental growth and maturity are still far away. The plants and animals living around us are useful for us in many ways. Plants and animals are interdependent on each other for various requirements. We get so many things from plants and animals like food, leather products, other ornamental products, pearls. We know that plants reduce the pollution. They give out oxygen. And do you know children, some animals and some plants also give us fibers. The fibers that are coming from plants and animals are called as natural fibers. Natural fibers are two types: plant fibers and animal fibers. Examples for plant fibers are cotton, jute. Examples for animal fibers are silk, wool. Tiny strand-like structures are called as fibers. These fibers are converted into yarn. Yarns are woven together to make a fabric. Cotton fibers are made from cotton ball. Cotton is separated from its fruits. This is combed neatly and cleaned. To get strong yarn from fiber, takli, an instrument for spinning, has been used since olden days. Charka is also used to make yarn. The process of making yarn from fibers is called spinning. In olden days, hand looms are used to make the fabric from cotton yarn. Nowadays, power looms came into existence. Do you know about jute yarn? It is also called as golden fiber. Jute yarn is harder, stronger and more rough. It is obtained from the stem of jute plant. The stem of the harvested plant is cut and immersed in water for some days. When the stem is soaked in water, it becomes rotten and easy to peel. Then the fibers are separated from the stem to make jute yarn. This is thoroughly combed and cleaned. Gunny bags are prepared by using this jute yarn. This is how weaving is done. You might have seen some horizontal strands and vertical strands. Padugu are the strands of yarn arranged in vertical rows, and peka are the strands arranged in horizontal rows. Let us know about animal fibers. Silk and wool are coming from animals. Here they are weaving a silk saree. Silk is coming from silkworm. This is the silkworm. Its eggs are called as seeds. Larvae coming out of the eggs. It feeds on mulberry leaves. Later it changes into cocoon. Here the cocoons are boiled. This process is called as stifling. This is done for the production of silk from the cocoons. Otherwise the yarn may be spoiled and destroyed. So this is the important process. And here after stifling, reeling is done, and then the weaving of the silk cloths is done by the weavers. This is the life cycle of a silkworm. Imago, eggs, larvae, pupae, adult. How do we get woolen fiber? We get woolen fiber from some animals like sheep, alpaca, camel, etc. What do animals eat? Observe the picture, children. Here some animals are eating plant products like grass and plant juices, flower juices, etc. But some animals are feeding on other insects or other animals. So depending upon the food habits, the animals are divided into three types. They are herbivores, the animals which eat plant products like seeds, leaves, stems, etc. Examples are cows and goats. Carnivores are the animals which eat animal products. Example, lion, fox, tiger. Omnivores are the animals which eat both plant and animal products. Example, crow, human being. How does animals respire? This is earthworm. It lives in soil. Its skin is very thin and having small pores. With the help of those, its skin is very thin and having some small pores, and it is moist too. It can respire through its skin. And this is cockroach. All insects respire through trachea. Here small openings are present on the sides of the body called as spiracles. They take in oxygen through these spiracles and it enters into trachea along tubes. And this is fish. You know that fish lives in water. It opens and closes its mouth continuously. So the water passes into the mouth and it enters the gills, because gills are the respiratory organs in fishes. Frog. You know that frog is an amphibian animal. Baby frogs looks like small fishes and they are called as tadpoles. They live in water, so they breathe with gills. Adult frog lives on land and also in water. It breathes with lungs and skin because its skin is moist. Lungs are the main respiratory organs in human beings. Inspiration is the process of breathing in air and expiration is the process of breathing out air. Respiration rate is calculated as the number of times we breathe in and breathe out air in a minute. Do plants respire? Plants also respire. They take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide during the process of respiration. Stomata, lenticels and aerial or respiratory roots in some plants help them to respire. Movement in animals. Observe the movement of the guy, children. We are able to move our body parts. Daily we do a number of activities like walking, running. There are number of joints in our body. There are nearly 400 joints in our body. Joints help us to move from one place to another place. Let us know about the different kinds of joints in our body. They are fixed and movable joints. Fixed joints are present in our skull and upper jaw. Movable joints are of four types. This is ball and socket joint. Observe the movement, children. Where is this joint present? In our shoulders. A cricketer can bowl a ball by using this type of joint. This is hinge joint. Observe the movement. The movement is possible only to one side. It is present in our elbows. This is pivot joint. This is present in our neck. We are able to move our neck to upwards, downwards, sideways. And this is our spring joint. This is called as gliding joint. We are able to move frontwards, backwards and sideways by using this type of movement. How do other animals move? You know that locomotion is an important life process in all the organisms. Animals move from one place to another place. Is the locomotion same in all the organisms? Observe the movement of fishes. The body of the fish, its tail and fins help them to swim in the water. So they can swim easily in the water. How do birds fly? Does all the birds fly? Birds are having hollow bones and they are light in weight, so they are able to fly in the air. Of course, some flightless birds are there. Observe the movement of snake. It crawls on the ground. It is having strong muscular body, so it is able to move. Observe the movement in snail. It is famous for its slow movement. The foot of the snail help it to crawl on the ground. We learned so many things about the life process in plants and animals. Let us sum up the main points. What we have learnt: roots, stems, Branches, leaves, flowers, buds and fruits are the main parts of a plant. There are two types of root system, taproot system and fibrous root system. Sunlight, carbon dioxide, water and chlorophyll are the four factors for photosynthesis. Autotrophs are the organisms which prepare food on their own. Example, green plants. Heterotrophs are the organisms which depend on other organisms for their food requirements. Example, animals. Natural fibers are obtained from some plants and animals. Plant fibers are cotton, jute. Animal fibers are silk from silkworm, wool from sheep, camel. Animals are divided into three types depending upon their food habits: herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Animals reproduce in two ways: asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Plants reproduce by asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction and vegetative propagation. The four parts of a flower are sepals, petals, androecium and gynoecium. Unisexual flowers are seen in papaya, cucumber, etc. Bisexual flowers are seen in datura, hibiscus, etc. Oviparous animals lay eggs and hatch them. Example, hen, crow. Viviparous animals give birth to young ones. Example, dog, human beings. There are various stages in the life cycle of various organisms. The stages of human life cycle are infancy, childhood, adolescence, young age, middle age and old age. The age between 10 to 19 years is considered as adolescent period. Physical, emotional and social changes takes place during adolescence. Joints are used to move our body parts. There are two types of joints, movable joints and immovable joints. It is time for evaluation. Try to answer these questions. Write the functions of a leaf. Draw the diagram of a plant, label it and write the importance of each part. How do cotton cloths are prepared from cotton yarn? Write about the four stages of a frog's life cycle. How many types of animals are there depending on their food habits? How does plants respire? Describe about locomotory organs and locomotion in different animals. Write about the types of nutrition with examples. How does fertilization takes place in plants? Write about the changes that occur during adolescence. Children, try to plant more trees. You might have known the saying of Ruksho Rakshati Rakshitaha. If you plant more trees, it will lead to the balance in nature. You might have understood the concepts of life process in plants and animals. Let us meet again in another session. Thank you.